At this time, please silence all phones or devices, please. Can I have a roll call, please?
David Hitchcock.
Here.
Ryan Duke.
Here.
Brady Reed. Here. William Wainwright.
Here.
Jose Alicia. Lolita Varian.
Present.
Nick Polchek.
Here.
That's good.
Sorry, I'm not used to it.
Everybody? Okay. To start the meeting, I'd like to welcome back to the board Radine Reed. She's done this once before, and glad to have her back. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Do we have an approval?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve minutes from the April Code Enforcement Board.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Wainwright, and a second by Ms. Varian to accept the minutes. Can I have a vote?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll swear in the witnesses.
If you're going to testify, can you please stand and raise your right hand? Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
We're starting off on page 4. The case on 1524 Banks Place.
Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 22-02295. The address is 1524 Banks Place. The owner of the property is Shane Childress. The violation is Ordinance 5225, Section 4.4.1I, Fence Conditions. The date of the violation was April 28th of 2022. And on April 25th of 2023, an order was given that this case shall be dismissed upon the payment of $9,850. The city recommends that the fine be reduced to 5% plus admin costs. 5% of the fine is $492.50. The admin costs are $250.23 for a total fine of $742.73 to be paid by May 23rd of 2024, or it reverts back to the original amount.
State your name and your relation to the property.
My name is Michael Childress. My brother is Shane Childress, and I'm residing at the house. And I'm just here to, on this behalf, I'm here to respectfully request that the fines be dropped down to administration fees and you know, I guess you'd say investigation fees. But my whole issue, if I can speak about it, is I was on a trip to Alaska doing some commercial salmon fishing. And whenever I left, this all started happening. My neighbor had gone into the backyard and fence had gotten brought down. I don't know if it was from him or from wind or what, but there's pieces of the fence that were down. He went and cut a whole bunch of vegetation down that the city said he could cut down in the alley. So therefore, it took away my cover for what was behind the fence. And people, you know, were able to see, and Darren was able to see what was back there. It had tires and stuff out. Thought was closed off, but it wasn't whenever I came back. So long story short, I got fined for the fence and for some, I believe it was for some ground stuff that was involved also. So the fees are told to me, even at 5%, we're talked about $1,300. And I just was hoping that there was some time there that I wouldn't be accruing. I didn't realize it was all accruing at this time. I was, you know, thought there'd be a little bit of a time to get it fixed. I came home with broken ribs. So, you know, not to nag on anything, but I just want to try to get that 5% knocked off because it's still at $1,300 for all this, and I just don't have that, plus all these house taxes to pay and you know, for some fence and stuff down that was, I mean, I've got it right now, and it's been, I don't know, a month or so since it's been knocked out. I was just hoping to get the 5% knocked down as well.
The reason that you went with the 5% reduction here?
The standard recommendation for the city is the 10%. And I've dealt with Mike and, we've been in communication, so it was, our thought process was to bring it down to the 5%, even lower than the standard 10% recommendation.
Progress as you were talking to Mr. Childress?
There was progress throughout the process. It took a year to get it done, so that's why the 5% recommendation instead of the standard 10%.
Can I just say one more thing? Last month, whenever this was brought to, I was supposed to be here at 1:30. I came in at 2, and I was sick, and I tried to get a hold of people all day.
It was a really short meeting. I remember that.
I tried to call ahead and get it understood, but I came back in today, and it was just under, I don't mind paying something for it. I'm not saying it happened while I was gone, but it's my fault ultimately because I'm on the property or living on the property, so I don't mind paying something, but $1,300 is just, still steep for me. It went all the way back to the whole time that I was gone. I had no idea that was happening, else I'd have had something taken care of. I got back and saw all the stickers on the door. So even if it's at 5%, I want to knock off some of the time or something to try to get this close to fair. I don't expect anybody to be out there, looking after us for free, but $1,300 is steep for me.
Ours says 742, not 1,300 bucks.
Well, there's a companion case, I think.
Oh, is there? Okay.
I move that we accept the staff's recommendation.
I think I had one more question. So it's been going on for a year. Can you give us a little bit of color on the timeline on that?
Yes, sir. I got a call to go to Alaska. I was told it was going to be a 2.5-month trip. It wound up being a 4.5-month trip. I come home with broken ribs, and I spoke with Darren, and Darren has been very helpful the whole time. Me and him talked, and he was okay with me getting some stuff done. I guess, by the time I was able to get it all the way closed out, there was another, 3+ months that it took me to get it done once I got home. And I know it's longer than I needed, but I had to really basically pay guys to come over and help me get it all right, my workers. And so, I'm just trying to say that, I feel like if we could do something to knock this down a little bit, it'd be appreciated.
I second that.
Second by Mr. Duke. We have a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Passed. Accepted. Going on to right down to the next case under that, case Hennigan.
I just wanted to hear, couldn't hear what her request was. Is it?
Move staff recommendation, which is
As it is listed in the agenda.
listed, which is a 5% fee of $492.50 plus admin cost of $250.23 for a total of $742.73.
Stands?
A year to pay.
Next case, ending at $22.99.
Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 22-02299. The address is 1524 Banks Place. The owner of the property is Shane Childress. The violation is Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage and junk. The date of the violation was April 28th of 2022. The order was given on April 25th of 2023 that this case shall be dismissed upon payment of $10,850. The city recommends that the fine be reduced to 5% plus admin costs. 5% is $542.50. Admin fees are $315.51 for a total of $858.01. This is to be paid by May 23rd of 2024, or it will revert back to the original amount.
Your name and your relationship to the property, please.
Michael Childress, I'm the brother of the owner of the house. Well, it's the same story as before. Whenever I was in Alaska, a guy came over to the house, and I had like you can see on the picture, there was even more cover than that. I had trees in there, and because he was scratching his truck going down the alley, he wanted to come over and cut some of the stuff off. So he got permission from the city to come over and cut it on my property. I mean, I know there's an easement, and I know it's technically the city's property, but he came over and cut limbs down, and he didn't cut them down where it was usable. He cut 3 foot back to my fence. So now I have no cover of anything, and this is not the way I left things. It's not. I thought it was covered up. It was all buttoned up. I drilled holes in all the fence to put screws in case some wind were to come. And what I'm saying is, this brush cover was done while I was gone. And as soon as I found out about it when I come back, that was the first thing we tackled. And it's been done for a while, and now I'm asking respectfully for you to knock this off, the major fee of the 5%. It's not a major fee. I know you guys have come way down, but it wasn't my fault. It's not like I'm, saying, I don't care what the city says. I'm going to do what I want. I'm saying I did not know until I got home. So therefore, I've got 4 to 5 months on knowing what this was. Maybe a hair more, maybe a hair less, but I'm saying it's been a lot less time than what's shown is a year. And I mean, I've got the whole front of this thing looking good. The whole side's done. As you can see, all the fence is taken back on those pictures. And I've come within compliance, and I just don't have all this money to put out. It's going to be with the fine that you just gave me, it's going to be close to $1,400 for all this.
Aaron, is the junk still there?
Pardon, ma'am?
Is the junk still there in his backyard?
No.
It's all gone. The junk is gone.
Yeah, it has been cleaned up and has
Closed
come into
out.
compliance. Yes, ma'am.
I think I'm more inclined, only because I feel like you did, when you made contact with the code enforcement officer, you did jump on it, and it's testimony to that fact. I probably would have wanted to move quickly enough, but to work on the 5% on the front end of that first case. But I feel like it's appropriate to do just admin for this case. So I'll make a motion that we approve admin of $315.51 for the total for this case to be paid by May 23rd, 2024.
Second that.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Wainwright and a second by Ms. Berrien to just do admin costs of $315.51. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 Motion passes. And on both of these, you have till May 23rd of next year to.
What that total would wind up being?
Your total on this one is $315.51 on top of the $742 from the last case. But you have until a year to pay it, so do what you can.
Appreciate it.
And then if you can't pay it all, come back next year and we'll see how you're doing with it, but do your best you can. Okay.
Thank you.
Next case will be on page 9, ending in 05972, 5626 Superior Drive.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-05972, address 5626 Superior Drive. Owners listed as Richard Asmar and Joel Zila. The violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.3.1 for roofs structurally sound and maintained. The date of the violations, August 29, 2022, with the March 28, 2023 order being via summary disposition that the case shall be continued to the May 23, 2023 Code Enforcement Board. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective March 9, 2023. Pictures were taken on May 17, 2023, showing that the roof is still not repaired. And at this time, the city is asking to impose $50 per day effective March 7, 2023, until compliance is met.
Your name and your relationship to the property, please.
Richard Asmar, the owner of the house.
What would you like to say?
So my wife, Joelle Zella, she's an owner too as well. She was dealing with everything with the insurance and with you. She couldn't make it today. I'm sorry about that. So our case started late of August when we had the minor roof issue, and then Hurricane Ian happened, and we had a tarp in August, and then because of Hurricane Ian, it caused additional damage to the roof, to our lanai, to the interior for the house, both stories. So water made its way into our master bedroom, closet, and leaked down into behind our kitchen cabinets. We had, since September of 2022, we had 7 different adjusters. September 1st, the second one October 14th, December 6th, December 21st, January 13th, January 20th, and January 26th. That's the last one. Sometimes we were promised to get a call back with a final decision, only to find out that our case was transferred to a new rep. Other times, the case was transferred before the rep even had the time to look over our case. So all I'm saying, back in March, the last adjuster, they decided to send an engineer to the house, not an adjuster, and he stated that we can hear back in 10 days. So we waited for 10 days. We called the insurance company. They said it could take up to 6 weeks. But I'm like, the engineer said 10 days. He's like, no, it takes up to 6 weeks. So we heard back, finally, 10 days ago. They gave us the approval for the roof, but not everything inside the house, which we have our cabinets in the kitchen, we have the living room. They did the damage because when they brought the water people to check the damage, they broke the cabinets and they poked into the flooring of the living room. Before they approved that, but they didn't approve the roof. That was a different adjuster. But with this engineer, he approved the roof, but not everything inside the house. So all I'm asking is to get one more extension. I know, thank you guys for your patience, but like, we need our house back. We're not sleeping in our bedroom. We have 3 kids. We can't go out in the backyard. There's mosquitoes and insects and everything. Trust me, we need to get back. We need our house back. We need to fix it. So my wife is trying her best, and she's always connected with you. So all I'm saying is we got the approval for the roof, but they sent us a release to sign that we're not getting any money other than those. But no, we need to fight to get back, to get everything inside the house because they did the damage, not us. I have my contractor coming in tomorrow to take more pictures, send the claim again this week. I don't know how long it will
Is
take.
this somebody that you're hiring or somebody that your insurance?
No, it's
you.
my contractor. He's
Okay.
been working with us since last year.
Yeah.
The same contractor. I don't know. I'm sure you guys know how insurance companies works. We're trying to do our best, but we got the approval. That's good for the roof. So all I'm asking for one more extension. I don't know, 30, 60 days. I don't know how long it will take. But we have our deductible ready. We have the approval of the roof and some of the interior stuff, but like the cabinets cost a lot, the living room cost a lot, like that's a lot of money. And before they approved all the windows, now they approved like 3-4 windows. So if I need to pay out of pocket, or I'm already paying $9,000, that's the deductible. And they didn't cover everything. If I need to fix those, that's another $10K. So like, but why? It was approved before. I don't know what changed now. So all I'm asking is for an extension, one more.
To clarify, also for him, the paperwork from the insurance company says that if we give you this check, you're agreeing that we're not going to give you any more money for anything
right.
else. So that's what they're holding off on is getting that check for the roof.
I think the only thing with an extension is, the roof probably won't be done by the time, even if we took it out, and it would still be in violation, and so that doesn't really, all it does is just make you have to come back before us again, and we hear it all over again. And we could do that for status update if we felt like that was necessary. I think I'm more inclined to lean toward the staff recommendation, and then we deal with the fine on the back end. So you don't worry about this necessarily. Focus on getting the house done, and then once it's all done and you stay in contact with your code enforcement officer, then you can come back to us and we can address the fine on the back end, which is, you know, if we see you're working constantly and in good faith, you know, that's something we can take into consideration for sure. So that'll be my motion, just to accept staff's recommendation.
We have a motion,
Second.
the motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. We have a vote?
Yes.
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 Focus on fighting with the insurance and,
So,
yeah, and then just keep Ms. Kaiser in the loop.
Next page, page 10. Case ending 77703, 1706 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, presenting this case for Charles McClellan, who's out sick. Case number is LCE 22-07703. The address is 1706 Martin L. King Jr. Avenue. Violations are listed in the agenda, starting with ordinance 3947, chapter 3. Date of violation was 11/16 of 2022. On 3/9 of 2023, an order was written. Respondents have until May 8th, 2023 for a total compliance or a $50 a day fine be imposed. An affidavit of noncompliance was completed on 5/9/2023. On 5/16/2023, Officer McClellan took pictures showing the violation still existed. The city recommends a fine of $50 per day be imposed effective 5/9/2023 and run until compliance is met.
Your name and your relation to the property, please.
My name is Nancy Hickson. I'm the daughter of the owner, Nathaniel Horton.
What would you like to say?
I would like to say I want a clearer understanding. What the understanding was with the paperwork that I got was that there was a trailer parked on the property, and also there was trash on one side of it that we cleared. And I thought everything was clear. I received a letter that everything was clear, everything was good, and now I have another letter that I'm trying to understand why am I back here?
Gomez?
There was I actually covered this area for a short time where we were shorthanded, and there was actually 2 cases open at this property at one time. One I remember having a cabinet outside. There was trash. There was a shopping cart, all there. That was the one case. This is the second case for the accessory structure, which has damage to it, as you see in the pictures. That damage on my last inspection of that property was still there.
That was not a part of the damage that we saw in the paperwork prior to that?
On the bottom there, it says accessory structure. That's what the city of Lake considers to be an accessory structure.
So explain that to me. What's the problem?
So the disrepair for the
Okay, so with the shed, with the last hurricane, the winds we had, that was blown off, and we weren't able to put that the top back on it. So if that, I have an understanding now that do we need to put a top on it?
So it's kind of, you know,
It's a shed.
it can go either way, you know, so we've had people who have tried to make those repairs necessary, or it can just, you can do away with the structure to bring it into compliance, but that's going to be the thing, as long as it exists in that state, it's going to be in violation.
So
And it's listed in our agenda, you know, like the different aspects, so exterior walls, roof, exterior doors, you know, so that's all a part of that.
So will you all give me time to repair the top? I hear that there is a daily fine being imposed. How does that work?
So from the date of non-compliance after the original order, it was given for May 8th to be the timeline or the deadline for you to come into total compliance. And since it was not, staff is recommending that the fine be imposed from May 9th on, so $50 a day until it comes into compliance.
It's going to be impossible. My dad and all of us will be in jail. We don't have any money like that. $50 a day?
Yeah, so it won't necessarily, it doesn't send you to jail necessarily, but this is stuff that it's just used as an incentive. So if you have a plan to put it together and you want to request an extension with a timeline in mind, we can consider that for sure.
We definitely do that without the money's being imposed the way you're saying it is?
So the only thing with what we would probably motion is a continuance, which would push it to whatever our deadline, our new deadline would be. But the fines, if it was not brought into compliance, would still take effect at this date, so May 9th. So if we give you another 60 days, if it wasn't done within 60 days, it would still, the fines would begin to accrue from May 9th.
And then if so, then the fines would have stopped as of that time?
Yes, if you get it into compliance and can reach out to your code enforcement officer, that stops the fines
Okay.
from being imposed.
Because I did not know that that was a problem, but obviously it is a problem, but I didn't see it on paper where the repair to the roof was a problem, so I did not know it.
Sunny Marshall, Code Enforcement Manager for the City of Lakeland. I'm looking at the case, and I just need some clarification. This case complaint came into us as a citizen complaint, and we have Nancy Hickston listed as the complainant.
Yes,
So you're Nancy,
I
correct?
am.
And you were the complainant on this case?
yes.
So you were aware, and you were the one that made the complaint for the damage?
I made the complaint of someone in the shed.
Okay.
Someone was living in the shed and they moved out of the shed. That is what my original complaint was. And then once the information got back with me, they didn't complain about, there was definitely a trailer on one side and there was definitely several shopping carts on the opposite side of it.
And so what is your relation to the property?
My dad is the owner.
Your dad is the owner? Okay. You would not have gotten the notice, and would he have gotten the notice at 1706?
Yes, ma'am, he
Martin Luther
would have.
King? Okay. That's all I have.
Move that we accept the staff's recommendation.
Motion by.
Had 6 months to fix this. 6 months. It can be done in 6 months. Do you think another 2 or 3 months is going to make a difference?
No, I think I think what's at issue here is the show of, good faith to allow her. I mean, the fines don't move unless she gets it fixed. And if she does get it fixed within that time, then there's no issue. And if she doesn't, then the fines will have still been in place for the set time.
So we don't have a second. So motion dies.
What period of time would you be looking for?
6 months would be great.
She's had 6 months.
That does take it out a ways.
4 months?
What steps have been made to start fixing the property itself?
Excuse me?
In the 6 months, what steps have been made to start fixing that property?
They have, and I checked with people that I knew to see could it be repaired, not knowing that this was going on, but definitely I've inquired or tried to get someone to come over to replace or put something on top of it, plywood or something, but then I just stopped. I didn't do it. I didn't move.
Go ahead.
6 months I think it's going to be way too long.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
So,
Her neighbors have been putting up with this for 6 months.
The whole neighborhood is like that, ma'am. It's like that. Can I please have 4 months?
We only talking about the shed, or?
Everything else is, she took care of whatever the grounds case was, right? I'm assuming I don't see it on the agenda. Or it's active?
The grounds case is still an active
Oh, okay.
case and is scheduled for next month's
There you go.
Code Enforcement Board hearing.
They told me that that was taken care of. There was a trailer on one side where that blue car is, and on the opposite side, there were several shopping carts and a bunch of trash. All that was taken care of.
So we're not hearing that grounds case right now, but if there is anything on the property that is seen in violation and there is an open grounds case, anything that contributes to that violation is kind of piled in together. So you took care of the grocery carts or the trailer, but if there's other trash somewhere else, it's going to still list as in violation. So you might have taken care of some specific things, but maybe not all of it.
Okay, so then what are you saying that's trash on one
Well,
side?
this is, so I want to be clear, we're not hearing that case.
Okay.
So this is just for the accessory structure.
Okay.
So you've requested 4 months.
I'll make a motion to extend it by 60 days, postpone by 60 days.
For clarification, are we asking that they come into compliance within 60 days or a fine be imposed, or are you saying to continue the case?
Continue the case for 60 days.
It's not the same? Okay.
No, they're not the same. I guess our concern is that since there hasn't been any movement on making any repairs, we don't have any applications submitted for permits, the status of the property remains the same. Our recommendation is to have the fine imposed, and then once she comes into compliance, like previously stated, the total fine amount could be addressed at that time. But
And also taking in consideration, she wasn't aware of what the violation was for the extended part of the home.
we have she's not the owner of the property. She was the complainant for the property. So
My
the
dad is
mail
a
went-
94-year-old
the mail
man
went to her
that-
father.
Yes, and I stand for my father. My dad literally doesn't even know, he doesn't even walk to the back. He's a 94-year-old man that we take care of in the house. But I was not aware that the roof was an issue. What was brought to me, the lady moved out. What was brought to me was that, in the paperwork, was that the issue was a trailer and the trash on the one side. I did not know the roof was an issue.
You have a copy of the complaint that was filed, that was sent to her dad? Or sent to that
Violation
address?
note.
The violation, yes. So do you pick up your dad's mail every day?
I do, at least twice a week.
So you get his mail, okay.
The officers actually put notes on the violation notice,
I see that.
so.
Yes, the notes by the officer added to the violation notice state, please properly repair the following: damage to the roof of exterior garage, missing door, fixed large hole inside of building, missing damaged window panes on west side of the garage, and damaged collapsing shed behind the home.
Was the initial report,
was-
right?
Yes, and that was sent
That was sick, that was at least,
2022.
yeah, she's had 6 months.
I was not aware of that. So I had to have missed that one. I was not aware of that.
We accept the staff's recommendation.
Motion again to accept staff recommendation. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 Yes, what? What is it?
So the fine will start on May 9th until it's addressed from here now. If we see progress and you're staying in contact with, I guess, Mr. McClellan,
Be Mr. McClellan at the.
yeah, who is your code enforcement officer, keep him in the loop on things as that is addressed and brought into compliance. You can come back before us and we can deal with the fine on the back end. But, you know, it's still on you to make sure it gets done quickly. And if it is roof that you're trying to replace, there will be permits and stuff required with that. So that's all stuff to keep in mind, you know, as you go.
You all know that we've had this shed out there for like 16,000 years, like plus 10, and never had this come to, it was not an issue ever. The window has been out forever. It's been like that for the last at least 18 years, with the exception of the roof. And it was never a problem. Why is it more now?
Because it was seen by our code enforcement officer, or in this case, you brought it to their attention.
Yes.
And so they made the inspection as they do on any other property and saw those violations and then made the order, so. But that's, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do we have another one?
This one, but on page 15 at the top, 643 West 9th Street.
33 West 9th Street.
Ma'am.
Page 15 at the top. 643 West 9th.
643.
No.
643 West 9th. 15, top of page 15 is what I got.
It's 43 West 9th.
Okay. Case number ending in 04272, 643 West 9th Street.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement. Case numbers are LCE 20-04272. The address is 643 West 9th Street. The property is the estate of Eva Mae Clark. Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307, care of premises, open storage of junk. Date of violation was 9/2 of 2020. Orders written on 4/27/2021. This respondent she'll be fined $50 per day effective March 16th, 2021, and run until compliance is met. Fine total was $37,800 for 756 days of noncompliance. An affidavit of compliance was completed on 4/11 of 2023. The city at this time recommends that we go just administrative costs only of $590.69 to be paid by 5/23/2024, revert back to the original amount. When I first got this case, I was not getting any contact from anybody. And I started getting contact from Miss Frida Mae Richardson, who's to my left here. When she started contacting me, we started to get the ball rolling. I got her in touch with Nick Dell at the Dream Center, and Nick Dell brought a crew out and actually cleaned it up.
Awesome.
After they cleaned it up, Nick actually called me and asked me, called me, told me it was all picked up. It was. I was able to close the case. That's why the city's not recommending the 10% at this time, and just recommending the admin cost only.
State your name and your relation to the property, please.
My name is Freddie Mae Richardson, and Eva Mae Clark was my mom. And my dad was Freddie B. Clark, and they lived at 643 West 9th Street. I am the daughter that took care of both my mom and my dad. I'm not trying to get credit for anything, but at the time, my husband was sick too. So I had my mom and my husband at the same time taking care of them. Now before my husband got down, I used to go to my mom every morning before I went to work, which I worked in Mulberry. But I would make sure they had breakfast and everything they need. And I didn't get the mail all the time because she had 3 other young adults staying there, and they would get the mail. So sometimes I didn't know what was going on because I was working myself. But in the end, my mom, I took her in my house, and that's where she died. And she left the three young adults there, because that was her wish. They had help taking care of her, and she wanted to let them live there. So they did. So what happened is that the house did go down. There were times I did get Robert, a yard man, to do the yards for us. And in 2017, there was a lot of liens against the house, but you all sell it for $2,017, I'm thinking, and I did pay it. Okay, Mr. Gomez, he did help me out a lot. He had the men from the Dream Center help me out.
Great.
Okay, I don't know who tore down the shed in the back, but anyway, I was aware the Dream Center did do it because in the evening time, now that I have more time and I'm older and retired, I go by and check the mail more frequently. So I appreciate you very much. Thank you for everything. But there was a car up there, 2 cars up there, and they belonged to the young people that stayed there. It was COVID time that time. I did get a lot, and I fussed with them all the time. Get the car from up there, get the car from up there. But you know how kids are. I'm calling kids to my age. But anyway, they took their time by doing it, but I was always fussing, get the cars from up there. They finally got them from up there, and they moved too.
Okay.
Now, who all put that junk in the back? I don't know, because all down that alley, everybody in that alley had junk down that alley. But at the end, when I'm trying to talk to him, everybody took their junk and brought it to my station.
Held it up right there.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And for as much as myself, I'm the only one that tried to really look at the code enforcement. Sometimes I would get them, most of the time I wouldn't. My sister, she's in Philadelphia, but she haven't came down to help me at all. And also, right now, I think the house is not livable. It needs to be tore down, and I realize that, but the land is about two lots and a half up there.
Sure.
Which mom and dad, especially mom, because dad died in 98, and mom died in 2019.
Thank you.
The-
But I appreciate that he's, I will pay the $500 some dollars. I really appreciate you all.
So the recommendation was to change to admin cost only of $590.69.
Yes, sir, with a pay date of 5/23/2024.
If that's agreeable to you, then I'll okay,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, we have a recommendation to accept, we have a motion to accept staff recommendation by Mr. Wainwright, a second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 Thank you.
On page 13, in the middle, 1343 Alma Street. Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number PER 23-00272. Address is 1343 Alma Street. Owner is Sarah Lee Kraft. At this time, the city is going to recommend a continuance to the June 27th CEB hearing.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Wainwright and a second by Ms. Reed to accept staff recommendation. We have a vote?
Yes.
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 All right.
One is on page 9 at the top. 1215 Windjammer Drive. Christy Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. The case number is LCE 22-05043, 1215 Windjammer Drive, number 5. The owner is Coast Property Management, LLC. The city recommends this case be dismissed with no fines.
To accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Wainwright to accept staff recommendation and a second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 That's good. I remember this one now. That's good. Anybody else? Oh, wow.
That's all.
Oh. Okay, dismiss with a fine.
To reconsider.
Reconsiderations. The motion so ordered for the cases on pages 2 through 5 in which the respondents did not appear is to deny reconsideration unless summary disposition was signed as stated in the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. So it passed. Case is continued. The motion is so ordered for the cases on pages 7 through 13 in which the respondents did not appear and are not in compliance is that the fines be imposed unless summary disposition was signed as stated in the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Dismiss with a fine. The motion so ordered for the cases on pages 14 through 16 in which the respondents did not appear is to dismiss with fines unless summary disposition was signed as listed in the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Wainwright, a second by Ms. Berrien. All in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Dismissed with no fine. The motion so ordered for the cases on pages 17 through 20 that are now in compliance is to dismiss with no fine.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Wainwright, a second by Ms. Berrien. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Summary disposition, I guess. The motion so ordered for all remaining cases that have not been heard today is that all signed summary dispositions be adopted with terms as stated in the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to accept by Mr. Wainwright, a second by Ms. Berrien. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are done.
Made up for the late start there.
You have to adjourn the meeting.
We're out of here.
Hey.
That was short and sweet.